Welcome to Bridal University with your host, Ebony.
And Zoe.
All right.
So today's our first episode. Pretty big deal.
Pretty big deal. I feel like we've been preparing for this for so long. Like, you guys see this, but the background of preparing for this has been
It's been a lot.
journey. It's been a process, but we're here.
Yeah. I remember having this idea for these little 5-minute snippets that we could use on social media, and then we pitched our idea and it became much bigger than I thought it would.
No, so Zoe was like, hey, I think we should do a podcast. And I'm like, you're talking to the wrong girl, because don't tell me you want to do a podcast, because you're going to do a podcast. Like, I live for podcasts. I'm like, you want to do a what? A podcast? Let's do it. And I think we both were like, okay. And then we just did a podcast.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal. It's definitely a big deal.
Yeah. It's been a very awesome process to figure everything out.
And it's just been, we have investors, but, for, the actual, podcast, it's been, I don't know if you saw that reel. If you haven't, go back to it. It's pretty cool. Zoe actually, with her iPad and the pen, drew what this was going to look like. And we just executed and did it from that drawing. And I think that's what we mean by the process has just been so cool. We didn't have anyone design our set for us. Zoe looked up all the equipment that we needed, and she made a list of what we presented it to the investors. We looked up the furniture, then we took a trip to IKEA. Go watch that reel. It's everything we're talking about, you kind of see it being pieced together in that reel, and that's why I love that reel. And then the song for that reel is just...
And if you don't know how to find us on Instagram, we're at bridal.university. So it'll be linked down below too in our YouTube if you're watching the video format. But if you're not, just look us up, bridal.university. Very easy to find.
Go over there and show us some love. We have some cute pictures. Like I said, we have that reel, and you will see the full episodes here. But over there, you'll see cool behind the scenes stuff of us figuring out everything, and just little snippets. And so make sure you follow us everywhere, because I think each platform will show a different side to everything. So
yeah, we've been learning a lot as we're doing this. We were even just talking while we were sitting here, and we're like, oh, we kind of have to really crane our necks. Maybe we should find a way to set up the mics different, but maybe you'll see that in the next episode.
I was going to say, and I think that's cool as the viewers, you're going to see us evolve. Right now, we think we're here, and I think next season we're going to be I can't believe we...
we thought we were
I'm just so excited to see, I love this space. I love everything we're doing, but I know, with everything over time, you evolve, and it becomes better and better, so I'm excited for the process of that.
Alright, guys, we're experiencing some real technical difficulties today.
Funky stuff is happening.
Yeah, so if things are changing, please bear with us. We've had to switch a camera now. We had to re-record a part because the audio went crazy on us. No. But we're figuring it out. So
we're back.
So let's just kind of get into what Bridal University is going to be. What our plans are for the podcast, because I'm sure that's what a lot of you guys are wondering.
What's Bridal University?
Yeah, what's going on here? What are they thinking about? So really, what we're trying to do is provide a place to talk and educate brides, people in the bridal industry, as well as, give tips and tricks to both of those parties, and just kind of give an insight to the world of bridal and weddings and all of that. We're going to have a lot of people coming on here talking about, different things, and I'm really excited. We're going to be trying to connect with our fans a lot too, so if you have questions, we want to hear your questions, we want to hear your stories, so if you have a fun, either good or bad bridal story,
plug us in, let us know for sure. And kind of how Zoe was just saying, we're going to have a lot of guests. So you're probably like, what kind of guests are they going to have? So we're going to have designers, we're going to have makeup artists, we're going to have hairstylists, photographers, videographers, caterers, like wedding planners, everything, anything, DJs, entertainers, like anything and everything that you can think about, bridal, wedding, anything in this that kind of fits under this is definitely everything that we're going to be talking about and kind of bringing to you.
Yeah.
So almost like a bridal guide, like, you know, like a little guide, a little tool book.
That's what our little bridal handbook is for here. Yes, our handbook.
Yes, that's our handbook for our university. So we're excited. We're so excited. We're happy that you all are here. We're ready to kick off this season of Bridal University. We see this being a thing for a long time. So we are here to stay. So this is just our first season, and we're going to have so many things. We're going to be evolving with time.
Yeah, we're even going to be changing in the next few episodes. Right now we're using a lot of natural light, which is great, but we have all these like beautiful neon signs behind us, so we might try to cut out some of the natural light and give us some.
So we're happy that you are here now. So you get to see us evolve over time. And you guys are like the A1, like day ones. Like you are the originals. So that's pretty big. That's pretty big.
Someday you'll look back and be like,
what?
Wow.
They started there? Yeah. Like, I remember that. I remember those days when they had that cute neon sign that says love. And then one day it's just like Bridal University. And the little stuff. That's what we're really happy about, the little stuff. But why don't we tell them who we are? We told them like about Bridal University, but who are we? Who's Zoe? Who's Ebony?
Yeah, who are we?
Who are we?
Why are we talking about this? You know, why are we important? Do you want me to start?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So I've been in bridal since I was 19 years old, like actually working in bridal, but my first experience like seeing the world of weddings was when my mom got married. I think I was like 7 when she got married, but obviously there's a lot that goes on before that, like, you know, seeing the engagement, seeing her go on to try wedding dresses. Like, I remember she was like, I don't know, mad, but she was telling me about how she was between like 2 dresses and she had me pick, and it was like a really fitted one and then a ball gown, and I picked the ball gown.
That's
and she
always,
was like,
I feel like that's always the 2.
Yeah.
Like, always.
Yeah. So, of course, as a little kid, I wanted to see my mom in a big
ball gown.
Princess dress.
Yeah.
And I think she really wanted that mermaid, but but I just wanted to be able to like hide under the dress, you know, if I needed to get away.
What little girl? I don't think as that at that age we have the appreciation for the mermaid.
No.
Yeah, I think that
we want the princess.
Yeah, we want the princess.
So I've always just had this like really grand vision of weddings in my mind, and I kind of stumbled into working in bridal on accident. Not really an accident. I just wasn't expecting it to happen at the age that I was. So I was 19. No, I was 18. I was 18. It was 2019, so I would have been 18. But I was going in to try on prom dresses at this local store, and I wasn't expecting necessarily to find a dress, but I wanted to at least go see it.
Yeah, just a look.
Yeah, I was with my grandmother. We were just like shopping around, and I was like, oh, that place, like I've never seen that before. And where I'm from, like the pop-up stores in the mall were like the big prom stores, but they were like ridiculously priced, so nobody was buying me a dress there.
Like,
no. So we went in there, and they had like everything in that store: prom, bridal, tuxes, flower girl, mothers, bridesmaids. It was like a one-stop
shop.
Yeah, one-stop shop for weddings. So I like really thought that was cool. And it was like one of those older small businesses you can tell had been there for a while. And it was only one person working in the store, my future manager. And so while I was trying on dresses, her and my grandmother were like talking a lot, and they were talking about me, because that's what grandmothers do. They just love to talk about their grandchildren.
So cute.
And so the stylist and us, we'd gotten to know each other pretty well in that short appointment time. I found a prom dress, which I wasn't expecting.
Successful day.
Yeah, very, very good day. And it got even more successful because we went to go check out, and then out of the blue, the manager, she was like, "Are you looking for a job?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually," because I remember I was job searching for a while at that point, and I was like, "Yeah, I'd love a job." And I went back that day and interviewed, and it was just awesome. I didn't get to start right away because I had to go get my wisdom teeth out, so that was a recovery for sure.
Yeah.
But I started, and I mostly ran like the prom and so like the dresses and tuxes, which was pretty fun. I got to, work with a lot of kids my age, and luckily it wasn't like directly in my hometown, so I didn't have to like see people
Weird.
that I knew.
Yeah, that would have been weird.
But it was really fun, and then I'd say about a few months in, I started working more with like bridesmaids and brides, and I learned a lot from my manager about, bridal and all of that, and, ordering dresses, because their store, like I said, it was older, so we used to have to fax our orders, and because some of these places would be in like Italy, so you'd have to fax over an order to them.
That's kind of cool though.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I did a lot of social media and stuff. I got to be a part of some events, so they used to donate dresses to, like, I'm not going to say where it is, but like the Miss America, like each state, has to have their own competition to decide which girl gets sent off to Miss America. So our store gave a bunch of dresses to the competitors for that state to go compete, so we got to go see it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I got to see like a grown-up toddlers and tiaras kind of situation.
Oh gosh. I'm sure that was interesting.
Yeah, it was really fun though. It was a good time, and then eventually I had to go off to school, so I had to, say goodbye, and that was kind of sad, but I was really excited for school, and I didn't really have a job for a while because my freshman year, spring semester, COVID shut everything down. So COVID, yeah. But when I came back, we actually got to come back in the fall, which was like a big relief to go back to school. I was looking for jobs, and everything was like super weird, and people wouldn't get back to you for interviews, so I was just kind of like, I don't know what to do. And I actually got COVID, and I was sitting in one of the isolation suites at my school. I know they send you and like lock you in a different dorm if you have COVID. It was like really weird.
That sounds so sad and weird.
It was. But I thought, like, where do I have the requirements
to work?
Yeah. And I thought, oh, bridal. And so I looked up, and there were a few in the area, and there was a very big bridal store. And I was like, I bet if I applied there, I could
totally get it.
Yeah, I could get it. And I went in for an interview.
And you totally got it.
I remember they weren't like super big fan of me because I came in and I think I had my purple hair at the time, and they were like, oh, you're gonna have to change that. And I was like, oh, perfect. Okay, cool.
Just like kind of weird when you think about it. Like, I'm presenting me as myself, and you're like, yeah, no. Mm-hmm. Like, we like you, but if you want to be a part of this, that's not gonna work for us.
It was kind of disappointing because I had like literally just done it, so my hair was crying, and I had to dye it brown like 2 weeks after I just made it purple. But I got the job, and it was pretty good. I had kind of stepped up in sales there pretty fast. But it wasn't my favorite job because I felt like it was more about getting the money than like
the experience.
Yeah, like I constantly felt like I was looked at under a microscope to be like,
yeah, these
are your statistics, because they did have statistics on everybody that worked there, and it was like everything was about the selling rather than about like making sure the brides were happy. So it was like really just not super great for me. I had worked there from the beginning of 2021 until about the end of the summer. I had even gone to a different location and tried working there. Did not love it, but it was really not for me, so I took a break, found another job to work in the meantime, because obviously you still need money, still need to work. So I found another job, and after that I just sitting there, and I was like, I hate this job. I really do hate it. It was like minimum wage, just constantly like doing stuff, unboxing, and it was just like boring. And I really wanted to get back to bridal because I felt like I knew what I was doing in this field,
Yeah.
so I looked up the bridal stores around here, and then I like looked a little bit further out, but I found this place that was like 10-15 minutes away, and I was like, huh. I didn't see that they were hiring, but I don't know, I'll give it a chance. And so I called them, and my current manager picked up the phone, and she was like, hello, how are you, blah blah blah, this is this place, what can we do? And I was like, hi, I'm just wondering, like, are you guys hiring? Like, I've worked in bridal and I'm looking for a new job. She was like, oh yeah, like, just email us your application. Like, so I like tweaked my resume to only show all the bridal stuff that I'd worked in, because I've had like multiple different jobs. So I was like, I'll just send them the bridal. So I sent it over to them. They emailed me back pretty soon to set up an interview, and then I went in to do like a shadow day where I got to see like
cool.
how everything worked. And I loved it. I loved that it was close to me, because my last job was like 25 minutes from me, and I was like, I hate commuting.
No.
And I just loved the vibe of everybody there. So it was really great. And that was that. And then I've been here since February.
Nice. It's funny because the other place that you talked about working, I also worked there, and my experience was the same. And we actually worked at the same store together. And yeah, it was the same experience, and we just missed each other, which I'm happy about, because I feel like if we met each other there, we both might not made it here.
Yeah.
Because we would have made that experience better for each other. So everything happens for a reason. And then we just missed each other here. And then now I came back, and here we are.
Yeah. And I want to hear about your story too. So
yeah, of course. Well, my name is Ebony. I am a new manager of a bridal boutique and a stylist. How I got introduced to bridal was actually more personal for me. I've always had a background in management, sales, that kind of thing. But for me, it started more personal because I was a soon-to-be bride myself, and I was shopping, and I had one appointment at a big store and then one appointment at like a smaller store. And my experience at the smaller stores kind of what led me to work in bridal. I wanted to be the change. But I remember for that first appointment that I went to in the smaller store, I was only able to fit one dress in the store. So it was like this dress with the store with like multiple dresses, like I think over like 200, 300 dresses. There was one dress in the store that I could fit. And I remember leaving that appointment, and the lady was super nice. I loved her. She was super nice. We connected. Even she felt bad. I'm like, no, it's not your fault. And I remember leaving that appointment like, I don't want anyone else to feel like this. Like, if I could do anything at that time, I don't know what I thought I could do. I'm like, I need to be a part of the change. Like, I need to be a part of this shift. Like, bigger bodies get love too, and we get married, like that's the thing. So I was like, I'm going to enter bridal, and I was still working full-time in my field. I went to school for counseling psychology and juvenile justice in Boston. So I was still like in the social work aspect, like that field. So I first got into it as a part-time, and I started like on the weekends. Then more and more, I like added on hours. And then it came, my journey came. I left where we live now. Do we already say where we live? Here, where I live now. I went to a different state. When I came back, I was able to work full-time. So that's kind of how I got into it full-time. But I would say I've been working bridal now altogether maybe for like 2 years. But I think when you work sales and you do management, I think like it's like pretty much baseline until you get to know like the ins and out of that actual trade, that actual field. So being here and like learning from people like Zoe, and like we have a great team, I've definitely learned some great skills and like some great, just the ins and outs. Yeah. And I think that we're ready to now share with you guys what we know, what we learn, and we're constantly learning every day. We go through trainings. Oh, yeah. We sit down with people who've been in the field. Like we know people who've been in the field for like over 20, 30 years. Mm-hmm. Like we have someone who's like really seasoned and like who knows. So we learn a lot from the others that we work with too. So
yeah, there's a lot to learn. And I feel like when a lot of people learn, they're like, oh, you do bridal? That must be so fun. And I'm like, yeah. Luxury retail is really hard. It's a lot of steps, especially working in there's a
No, there's like a fruit fly. So if you see us like going like this, it's a little fruit fly around here.
But I lost my train of thought. But working in small business is already like you gotta kind of take on a lot of responsibilities, and I've always been someone that like really appreciates that because it kind of allows you to speak up and
Make
say
the
what
change and
yeah. And also, it's just a little better because you get to know the stock of your store. You get to know the people more. Because I've done 2 small stores and then 1 big store. And the big store was nice. Everything was computerized. Everything was, easy to find. You had a lot more options. They had, a lot more money to kind of, do whatever you need. But it wasn't as personal. And there wasn't a lot you could do to, like, change.
And, like, we have such a say in the space that we work in now. Like, we get to see the dresses that we're going to bring in. We get to talk about the sizes that we're going to bring in. We get to talk about the styles and styles that fit different sizes. When you work for a bigger store, there's people who get that's like a whole job in itself that we don't get to. We just see the dresses come in, we say, oh, wow, and we sell them. Like you said, here we wear so many hats that it's great because we get to see the process on how you select the dresses, on how they come in, on how the different seasons and the different lines and the collections. And
I think it's also made bridal a bit more personal again for me. I felt like for a while bridal was just like sell them the dress, get the sales, because everything was so judged in the last job that I had that like everything was down to like a statistic, and they had statistics on everyone.
Every single
yeah, it was just a lot. And here I feel like they're more about making brides happy, and it's more about that special moment rather than like trying to push somebody.
Yeah, because I feel like here we're about the one-on-one experience. Like, I just had a bride the other day, and we went through her appointment, and she actually didn't purchase. But the one thing that she said to me that was even, of course we want to like, we want to sell whatever. But what she said to me when she left was, this experience, hands down, has been like one of the best experiences like I've ever. She was like, the way you just like, I felt comfortable. I felt heard. I felt like wanted in your space. Like I was very like into it. I didn't feel rushed. I didn't feel judged. That like I couldn't make my decision. She was like, you'll be hearing from me. And to me, her saying that left like more of an impact than me selling her the dress and not hearing that feedback. Like it makes me feel like we're doing something like, and I know that people are like, oh, you're just selling bridal dresses. But it's like, no, we're actually a part of this person's experience. Like they're always going to remember who sold them their wedding dress and the experience that we gave them. And I think that a lot of people in customer service don't realize how much you can actually have an impact on someone, negative or positive. And like for me, I love that we're on the positive side of that.
Yeah, I mean, all the time when I have brides and the mom comes in, she's like, oh, I remember when I got my wedding dress in the 80s, and I remember my stylist, she was like this old lady, and she was just trying to get me a dress, and back then it was only $100. Like, they love sharing stories.
And they remember. And I know, like, we have brides all the time that, like, still are in contact with us. Like, they'll post their anniversary, and they'll still tag us. And, like, they'll be like, I remember my stylist, even though I got married 2 years ago, and we post them on our, like, page. And I don't know, it's just nice. Like, we always say here, like, when you buy a dress from us, you're a part of our family now. And I really do feel that. Like, I feel like we're also a part of their family. We're a big part of their day. And just, like, they're a part of our family. So.
Yeah, it's really great. It is a lot of stress on the soul sometimes with how much, can go wrong.
It's not all rainbows and butterflies.
No.
Which you'll hear.
Yeah, it's a lot of troubleshooting.
Learn as you go. It's a lot of learn as you go.
Yes. Yeah.
Every day I think we learn something different, or I can't tell you how many times here we changed our process and our paperwork and our product. Like, it's always changing. It's always evolving.
Yeah. Which I think it's awesome.
I love it.
I love that.
Because we're a part of the change. We are a reason sometimes that we're like, hey, it's not really working.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this? And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm very, very happy with my job, and I'm sure you can feel the same. But now that you kind of know about us and how we feel about Bridal, maybe we should tell you a little bit about why you should listen to us, what you should listen for here.
What to expect.
There's a lot that's going to happen. We're very excited about it. We have a lot planned out. We have a lot of support already, which we are very thankful for.
Literally, like, I just want to, like, stop and say, like, support is, like, huge for something like this. And we appreciate, like, if you're, like, listening to this, if you're watching us, we want to, like, really take our time to say thank you so much for being here. We need you in order for us to be here. We need you to be where you are. So we thank you so much for that. We thank you for taking the time out to listen, to watch, and we have so much in store and so much coming. So just want to say that.
Well, should we tell them what we're thinking about talking about? What?
Yeah, like what to expect this season. For sure.
Season.
This season. Because there's going to be multiple.
Yeah, we're going to be big.
Yes. So this season, so what I love about us, right? You have two hosts. One, I didn't even get to talk about like my interests and like my things. So I love that Zoe is the film side of everything, and like, so you're gonna be like bringing in photographers and like videographers and like very much that we're gonna be in this together. But I just love that we have different interests, that we have different perspectives on everything. I'm more into like makeup and everything, like fashion and hair and glitz and glam. So I think that like, because we have two sides of this and things that you're passionate about and things that I'm passionate about, it's going to always be great. It's always going to be fun. You're going to feel our passion. I know that when we bring on makeup artists and photographers and different stuff like that, like you'll get to see how excited we are, get to see like different things that I'm going to be passionate about, that Zoe's going to be passionate about. And I think that's what makes us the dynamic duo, because we're similar in ways, but we have our differences, and I think that that's what helps on a platform like this. Definitely. So I'm so excited to be talking about things like beauty and what to expect from your makeup artist, things to ask your makeup artist. Should you give your makeup artist a look, or do you want them to come up with the look? How much should you spend on a makeup artist? Mm-hmm. Things like that, hair included. So we're going to be talking about stuff like that. And then for you,
for me, just like, social media trends, what photographers are doing now, what, people are doing for videos, for social media. If you want your wedding to go viral, what do you need to do? Yeah. There are a lot of big trends, especially with TikTok and like Instagram and stuff like that.
I can't wait to talk about that one that we saw.
Yes. Oh my God. There's so many like wedding memes too, that like things that people did at their weddings that I think are funny and that I've shared with Ebony. But there's a lot to talk about.
Sure.
And on top of that too, there's just such a large industry with bridal, and you kind of have to break it down into pieces. And it's not just bridal either. I'd say it's wedding.
Just wedding, like in general, because I know that like, the more I just sit here and like think as we're talking, I'm like, there's so much like people who decorate and design like all these crazy like table arrangements, and like people design these things. Like it's just so many avenues in bridal and wedding that I don't think people like. I think people just think bridal and they're just like, oh, wedding dress. I'm like, no, there's DJs, entertainment, like musicians, like that's all bridal. Food, cake.
There's a lot to discuss. So mainly, as the name states, we're a university. We're all about educating, showing the culture right now of weddings, because it's always changing. There's always going to be something to talk about, and
literally,
we kind of just want to
keep you in the loop and keep you, with the new tea, the new everything. Keep you in the loop.
Yeah, and every week we're going to have a discussion. So if you want to be a part of the discussion and you want to submit your own questions, all you have to do is go to our Instagram. It's at bridal.university, there's a little Q&A highlight reel, and you just click that and you write your question in, and we'll be answering those every week. So if you want a chance to ask a question, if you have something that's on your mind about your own wedding, it's a great place to do that. We also will have a website coming soon where you can submit your bridal story. So if you had either a really good or really bad experience with a vendor, a salon, a something or other, where we can kind of break it down and talk about it, we'd love for that to happen too. So we'll let you know when the website's up and running where you can submit that.
And even if maybe you haven't got married yet, maybe if you had a friend who just got married, a family member, like definitely sit them down and be like, hey, my friends or this podcast that I'm watching, like they're talking about bridal. Did you have any bad bridal experiences, good experiences, anything that made your, anything that stuck out in your experience? And let us know, because as stylists, we always want to know what people are thinking and, what did that stylist do that they either loved or hated or, we just want to know. So definitely let us know.
All right. To end our podcast for today, we have a question. Yeah, I know. Surprising. The question is, how many bridal appointments is an appropriate amount? We can kind of just give it a taste because next week we're going to be talking about bridal appointments. So we'll give them a sneak peek.
Okay.
What do you think is a fair number?
I believe a fair number is 3 to 5.
I would agree.
I think that is a great number. And I think by that 5th, you should know.
I'd even say on the lower side, trying on wedding dresses is not like
fun.
A tour. You're not going on tour. You're going to stress yourself out so much if you just keep going to all these places and trying on all these dresses and letting your bridesmaids book appointments in every town that they're in. You're going to stress yourself out. So we'll talk more about why you shouldn't do too many next week.
I know, my mind is like...
I know.
Like, okay, pause. Don't speak anymore.
Yeah, but so our answer is 3 to 5, and you can find out why next week.
Next week's episode of Bridal University.
Bridal University. Thanks, guys. Give us a follow.
Yes.
Subscribe to us on YouTube at Bridal University. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify podcast, stay tuned for next week's episode.
Tuned. And make sure you check out our website.
Whenever that comes up. We'll have to share that in the link below if it's
We'll
set
share
up.
that's coming.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.